One.
It is recording.
All right, cool.
Rolling.
So we are going to have this recorded and put it on YouTube for you guys to review later if you need. Also for the two that were not able to make this call. A little agenda. It's going to be the same format as it's been before. I sent you guys this via email. But for about 10 minutes, we're going to talk about leg updates, kind of the pulse of the company, I like to call it. We're going to spend the middle majority of it. We're going to spend 40 minutes talking about the focus of the month, which hopefully you guys remember was keywords. Very exciting topic. It's probably one of the most talked about topics in the industry nowadays. And so we want to be more well informed on it.
That's true.
And then we're going to spend the remaining 10 minutes of the hour left just kind of hearing from you guys. And I know Sean has some stuff he can share with you guys at the end, stuff that I didn't know, in fact, myself. So I'll be talking about that. But first, let's go through updates. For those who don't realize why I'm here talking instead of Chris, because Chris has been doing this before. So I'm still on team transition. So up until February 14th, I'm kind of taking over Chris's role, kind of leading the company a little bit while he's working on the conference stuff. You guys should already know this. I sent this via email. That being said, this is the one and only meeting it looks like I'll be leading. But I'm excited to be talking to you guys about it. Next, I kind of wanted to get a quick leg conference recap, just for those who missed, which looks like everyone was here, so no one really missed. What do you guys think? Let's get anyone tell a story from the conference. What did you like about it? What didn't you like?
The crazy dude.
That was a crazy story.
I thought it was fun. It was a good conference.
Good.
Learned a lot. Definitely learned a lot.
Good.
Yeah, it was definitely it was a really cool experience, and just so awesome to see everyone. Was just such a big thing for me that made it really fun and worthwhile. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anyone feel like they learned some things from like Snow's talk or Professor Wolf's talk? Anything they didn't know before?
I like the Russian lady.
The Russian lady. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Professor Wolf.
What did you take out of her talk that you didn't know before? Can you remember anything?
No. Definitely there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think from her talk, I think she really highlighted some of the things that sort of what we kind of overlook, like we were saying before in our manager meeting, like storytelling within your cover letter and like sort of how to capture your kind of most important experiences and kind of having more of an accomplished based cover letter. I think that was something that was like very important, even though we sort of already do it, we don't really talk about it that much. So I think it was like good to hear like kind of that reinforcement that like that was a good technique to be using in cover letters.
I really liked how animated Clara was, using her hands and then different like inflections and tones of her voice. I think that was really great.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, she was cool. We'll be working with her later on, and we'll update you a little bit more on that coming up. But we were looking to kind of partner with her as a career coach because we don't really have that kind of side of things. So she's going to help give us some a few clients a month, and then we're going to send her clients for career coaching. So.
And I think what I also really learned about from the conference is sort of the needs of people are very vast and different. And I think that it was good to see this conference because it's like, the needs of someone who's like, of that one woman who said that, she was a single mother, she was trying to get back into the career field versus someone who's like about to be a Cornell graduate. Their needs are very vastly different in terms of need from our services.
Yeah.
So it was good to be able to see sort of, and I hope you and Matt start doing like market analysis to see, how to like kind of capture both of those markets. Cause I think you can kind of tailor two different conferences for those two different types of people.
Totally. Yeah.
Or, we did before, kind of combine the two, but then have like, I like how you had different speakers talk on different things because each different thing kind of appeal to each person in a different way. And I think that was kind of what made it sort of effective, was the fact that, you know, you kind of had, I forgot her name, but the woman, the third woman speaker, can't remember her name. But I like what she was saying, because those were sort of things that you never really think about, like why people get kind of like out, like how people sort of have issues, you know, finding jobs, or if they are going through like emotional drama and things like that. You know, someone like us, because we're, you know, single and, you know, we're still like coming up in our careers, we kind of don't think about that. But for older people, that is very important. Kind of that she was providing. So, you know, I sort of like how it was kind of like a tasting of each different thing, and it kind of appealed to each person in a different way.
And like the dinosaur guy up front, who was a trader, who had you know, lost his job. You could tell he'd been looking for a long time.
Yes.
If there's some way we could figure out how to tap into that market and help those guys, if they're helpable, to be honest, that'd be amazing. Because when I was recruiting out there, there were so many of those guys who had really good careers, but once they get laid off, you know, at like 60, late 50s, and they're not ready financially or mentally to retire, then they're stuck out there, and it's so hard to get those guys jobs. I mean, that'd be a real challenge, but there is a ton of people like that.
Yeah. We've helped a few people in the past who were actually really old, and the age was a big concern for them. Like, Matt, I don't know if you did that lady's resume. She was like 65 years old, like 2 years ago, and you helped her find a job. She was just she wrote a raving review. How the little old lady could finally get a job. I was brought tears to my eyes. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But no, definitely. It was, for me, it was so cool to see face to face the actual types of people that we're helping out in real life. Because sometimes it's hard. Like I'm talking to you guys right now, and there's like the screen in front of us, and there is that connection. But I think once you're live in the same room, it kind of changes things a bit. It changes the vibe. So I think it was cool to get that experience as well. So
cool. Well, thank you guys for talking about the conference. We'll speak later if we have time about it. So just 3 more updates here. I do want to give a shout out to my team career scores. Until I can think of a better name, that's what we're going to call ourselves. Our sales team, Mark and Will. Thank you guys for being patient while we figure out this process. For Maya, Erica, and Sean, just to let you guys know, we're the ones on the calls beforehand to get the clients. We're doing career scores so we can get engaged clients. So we're still figuring out the process. And we're still trying to how we can, you know, get better at what we do, which is why we're having a meeting after this. So that's just a little update. I'm really proud of how that's going. Another cool thing, as Chris alluded to earlier, we are actually partnering with Clara Corley, who was the first speaker at the conference. We're doing sort of a referral basis. So we refer her customers. She's going to refer us customers. We'll kind of figure out how exactly to do that. We'll see if maybe we can use you all to make that happen, or maybe it'll just be from our end. But we're looking into that still. Another cool thing is Clara is allowing us to market one of her products on our website. So instead of a referral, it's almost going to be like our service. In that manner, we're going to be able to market, career coaching on the Let's See Grandma website. You guys wouldn't be doing the coaching; it would automatically get routed to Clara. So that's kind of a cool thing that's up and coming. It's going to be package number 4. So that's in the works. Mm-hmm. Included in package number 4, hopefully you guys are just as excited about this, is one of the recruiters from the conference. I don't know if anyone got a chance to speak with her. Her name was Kaori, and she was the Japanese lady. Yeah. With she had sort of an accent, but very sweet lady. Very knowledgeable in what she does. She reached out to me about exactly a week ago, and she was giving me advice about what the interview process looks like. Of course, I was aware, but she wanted to tell me from her perspective what that looked like. She told me what she does, which she helps her clients as a recruiting agency. She helps her clients get the job at the company. There's different terminology for it. She basically gets people jobs at the companies by giving them good advice and how to cater their interview style, dress style, stuff like that. So in the works again, it's possible that she would be part of package 4. and that we'd be offering interview advice and things of that nature. So we're expanding. Hopefully that excites you guys. Possibly let me know if you're interested in being on that team, and maybe we can talk about it.
Definitely.
For now, do you have something, Sean?
Yeah, I would be interested to be a part of that team, but also too, I was gonna say, Chris, I think you should also follow up. I forgot the name of the guy, but there was a guy who was from New York. He was from NYU, the nursing college, and I talked to him for a little bit. He was the taller black guy. He was taking pictures at a certain point as well.
Oh, at the very end. He took our picture at the very end.
Yeah, that guy. I'm not sure if you. Yeah, I'm not sure if he gave you a contact information or if you have his contact information, but I think we really should get in touch with him because he was talking, because we were talking, he was like really interested in our team, our healthcare team, and he said that he wanted to pair us up with like their the student services and then for the nursing profession, because there's a lot of students there that could be using our services, and I think that could be a way for us to get in new packages as well. 'Cause I know I have a lot of free time, so I would like to take more packages if I can.
Awesome.
Good.
No, definitely I'll follow up with him. Any sort of those partnerships we are definitely open to as a company, as long as it kind of meshes with how our process works. I'm totally down, and I'll reach out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Last update before we move on to the focus of the month is this is just something I like to do. I've done it when I was in the, supervising in the restaurant business. Every day before our, pre-meeting, I would give a daily shout out. It's just kind of a feel good way to remind people of, that we're doing a good job. So my monthly shout out this time is to Maya. Where's Maya?
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, my screen isn't working, but thank you.
Don't worry about it.
She's smiling. Really big.
Yes, I am.
So if I had to clarify, I think the things that you have really shocked me on is number one, the amount of packages you can handle. Your customer service, your quick timeliness has been on point. And as I emailed you already, great job with the upsells. You hit 3 upsells in about the span of 2.5 weeks, or less than that. So I wanted to say good job with that, and I hope you can give yourself a pat on the back for.
Oh, thank you so much.
Definitely great job, Maya.
Yep. Not that everyone else isn't doing excellent, but that's just one thing I wanted to focus on.
Yeah.
All right. Without further questions, we can leave them to the end. We're going to go on to the focus of the month, which is keywords.
Awesome.
All right. Let me share my screen. Okay. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be a little bit more engaging than before, which is why I wanted more time for it. So I'm going to be asking for your feedback. Please give me that so we can make this go smoothly. So keywords. This, I want to prime you guys. If you haven't already been asked by your clients, this is one of the most talked about things in the industry right now. I think there's a lot of hype going on. So we're going to talk exactly, you guys, this is just a refresher from what you guys should already know. But I did want to go a little bit more into depth. Because in the end, I want each and every one of you to be comfortable in talking about it, in kind of assuaging the client's fears, but also being competent and knowledgeable enough to use this in your writing. So keywords, do they stop you from getting interviews? It's a hot topic, pain point for a lot of people, but let's try to make it fun. So a little overview of what we're going to talk about. What exactly are keywords? Again, you guys should know what this is, but we'll define it a little bit better. How do you identify them? And then how can you actually implement them into your writing? So who can answer? What are keywords? Who knows?
They're supposed to be utilized in order to help better search for specific candidates. Yeah.
Anyone else want to add to that?
They're like the buzzwords from the industry that you're supposed to be working in, so people can know your competencies. I don't know.
Yep. I like that you use the word buzzwords. I like that you name that. So essentially, you call them buzzwords, or, it's basically just a phrase or a word that a recruiter uses when they're selecting resumes in order to identify better matches. So this is kind of the textbook definition, but essentially here's the metaphor. So when you go on Google, it's Saturday night, which it's going to be about 8 hours here. You're like, dang, I'm hungry. I don't know what I want. Do I want Japanese food? Do I want Italian? Do I want sushi? I'm feeling like Mexican. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to type into the search bar, Mexican restaurants in New York City. Now, is someone typing that actually? So I was like,
somebody's typing it.
What you're doing is you're putting in keywords into a search bar in which Google is going to crawl through the vast amount, and I'm talking billions of websites, the vast amount of data that there is out there in order to find exactly what you're looking for, right? So here's the metaphor. The recruiter is not typing in Mexican restaurants in New York City. He's looking for data analysts in Los Angeles.
Yes.
So from that perspective, he or she is trying to look for the vast amount of data that's out there, the vast amount of resumes that are out online, and the vast amount of resumes that are being sent into this large company in order to find out that data analyst in New York City. So it's answering the question, what you want to answer the question for your clients rather is what are the keywords in my client's resume that are going to help the employer find me. Okay. So here's a quick little poll. So since Sean and Maya answered the first one, I'm going to ask you guys a multiple choice question. ATS Software. Just to clarify, ATS Software is basically it's the program that recruiters are using in order to define their keywords and find matches for the keywords. So it's the Google. Think of it like the Google. An employer is going to type a phrase into ATS Software. The ATS Software is going to crawl and find it. So on the topic of ATS Software, is it A, there is definitely a surefire way of knowing what keywords a recruiter is using, and this doesn't involve actually asking them. Is it B, it's all just a guessing game, completely impossible to know what keywords are being used? Or is it C, it's a guessing game, but one can optimize the resume using some research and a targeted approach?
I just created a poll. Let's see if I can just launch it real quick, but it just has A, B, and C. Let's see.
Yeah, do you guys want to vote?
Yeah.
Polling. Let me see. Nah, forget it. It's not. I did this too last minute. But you can just talk it through.
All right, next time we'll do it. So besides Sean or Maya, who wants to guess?
Would it be C?
Yep. Yeah, is that your final answer?
Final answer.
Yep. Ding, 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 ding. It is exactly C. So let's talk about that. I mean, the answer is always C. You guys know that from your. So this is where people get scared. Is they think the answer is B. They think that they're totally helpless and that, oh my gosh, there's this new ATS software. What does that even stand for? How do I cater to keywords? And what we want to tell them and what we want to let them know is that, yes, it is a guessing game. You don't know exactly what the recruiter is looking for or what your employer is looking for, what the hiring manager is looking for. But there are ways in which you can engineer the resume by using research and target approach in order to make it more likely that you find it. So, looks like Erica. Oh, Erica just dropped.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Well, she will be able to join later. So going back to it, why are keywords important? So it is part of the game, and we, as the resume writers, just have to play to that. Now, I wish every single client we had that was fit for the job got the job, or at least got the interview. Unfortunately, it's not that way. And what we found out is that there is a certain percentage of recruiters that are using keywords. But then again, keep this in your mind. 100% of employers are not using keywords. People tend to think it's that way. People tend to think, oh my gosh, the small firm I'm applying to is probably going to put me through this this database of ATS software and keywords and et cetera, et cetera. That's not true. what we found is that a lot of the time, the percentage of employers that are using it are the big ones. They're the ones that have a lot of resumes coming in. We're talking, hundreds of resumes per month coming in. You need something that's going to help you crawl through that to help you find the right candidate. Here's a little example of what that looks like. Just like Google, for example, you're looking for a controller for your company, right? Everyone knows what a controller is. So what the employer is going to do is they're going to put in the search bar accounting, accountant, accounts. They can put in, see that next to the finance, they can put in CPA, Excel. These are all words that are common to the position of what a controller does. And once they hit search, it's going to go ahead and crawl through all the list of candidates and pull out to the top the best ones.
Based on the resume, you're saying?
Yes, based on the resume. Does anyone have any questions up until now, maybe about this frame in particular? Okay.
I think this is good.
I'm giving you guys just a pretty. We're gonna do some application here in a second, but I'm giving you guys just some pretty big breadth on the subject, so you are familiar with it, so that we can talk about how to use it. Which leads me to my next topic. This is hot tip number 1: knowing the common sources for keywords. So I'm sure you guys are asking, what exactly qualifies as a keyword? So let's go ahead and go down the list with these seven categories. And I'm going to ask each one of you to go and give me an example of what that looks like. And then we're going to go over it again and talk about, is that important? Are these going to be common sources for keywords? So soft skills, who wants to give me an example of that?
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy, good. I like it. Another one that comes to my head is good communicator.
Team player.
Team
soft
player.
Skill.
Gets along well with people.
Exactly. Okay. Now let's move on to number 2. Nouns common to the position.
Give like an industry.
Yes.
Give like the position title example.
So let's go back to let's go to lawyer.
Ooh. Unfortunately, I forgot everything I know about law.
Litigation.
Okay, litigation.
Litigation.
Arbitration.
Nice. Good.
Prosecutor,
Yep.
defense.
Prosecutor would probably fall into position title, but I would conclude that.
Yeah.
Debatable. Which
Torts.
we'll breathe on.
Yeah.
What was that, Chris?
It's a torts or discrimination law. Just
Torts.
talking about the different types of.
Yes.
Or negotiation.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yep. Good. Okay, so we're going to breeze through these next couple ones because they're pretty self-explanatory. Position title, controller, lawyer, financial analyst, restaurant manager, yada, yada, yada. Employer names, Morgan Stanley, Airbnb, Uber, whatever.
Google, Amazon.
Yeah. All right, degrees, BS, BA, MBA, etc. Location, that's obvious. The city that they worked in, the city that they have worked in. And finally, ending off on certifications. So that's things such as, anyone, you can shout this one out.
Red Cross certification.
Cool.
CPR.
CPR, easy.
CPA.
CPA, less easy, but yes.
Mark.
Okay.
PMP, I don't know. That is a certificate.
Yeah, that's the project management.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah, I'm saying like a PIMP certification. It's PMP for you guys.
All right. Well, now that we have a pretty good idea of what each one of these categories is, let's kind of go down and let's sketch up. Are these going to be good examples of keywords? Is the employer going to be looking for these keywords? So soft skills. What do you think? You can shout them out all.
Yeah.
You think soft skills are going to be important?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think so.
Okay, Chris, I'm going to ask you to stay out of this one because Chris knows the answers. Okay. So nouns common to the position. Important or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Position title.
Yeah.
The rest, I'm going to guess yeses. You guys think? Someone give me the most important one because there is a rank.
Yeah, there is.
Probably position title.
I think it's a balance between all of them. You need to incorporate all those.
Right. But if you had to assign, yeah.
I would think the most important one would be nouns common to the position.
Okay.
I'm gonna vote for that one.
Okay.
What do you guys, if you could say is the least important one, would you guess that employers are actually putting into these keyword searches?
Location.
Certifications.
Will?
Yeah, certifications.
Employer names.
Employer name certifications. Okay.
Well, I guess, that depends what kind of job it is, though.
It does. It does. Okay. So I'll reveal this to you guys. First, let me preface that this is a survey taken by a list of major employers. This was a rating based on, do you use these? So do you put importance on any of these categories? So, and this is from top to bottom. This is most important to least important. So of those surveyed, the 80% of them said the position title was important. Of those surveyed, 71% that nouns common to position were important in selecting keywords. And then it goes to location, employer names, degrees, certifications, and we have soft skills at the very bottom as the least important of the keywords that they use.
Oh.
So we'll talk about each one of these categories, but just keep this in your head. This is going to help in what you focus on when you're creating resumes and what you clarify in your cover letters and stuff like that.
Very good.
We'll come back to this slide later. So this is hot tip number 2. Based on the most important thing that these employers responded was position title, here's hot tip number 2. Be position oriented. We have 3 examples up here. Retail banking manager, IS analyst, high school of mathematics teacher. Something that you may not see a lot of our clients, but something that I have seen something people do, is they completely forget to put the position up there. They might say they worked at Macy's for the not Macy's. They worked at Chase Bank as the retail banking department.
Mm-hmm.
Quite literally, the word department is not going to be selected for at all. You need to say, I was a retail banking manager at Chase Bank. Put that underneath the position title, underneath the employer name, put that in the cover letter. You don't have experience with information security. You were a 10 years experience as an information security analyst. It's incredibly important that these things are highlighted, not only underneath in the resume, of course, as we all know, but if they have a summary of qualifications and you want to include it, make sure those positions are said once, not just once, but twice. You weren't head of the high school of mathematics department. You were a high school of mathematics teacher. Now, reason that you want to be position oriented is because if you have a bank looking for a retail banking manager, that position itself is going to be searched for, not necessarily the buzzwords that come behind it. So make sure that people are being position oriented. Any questions about that?
I have a question. So for younger people who have a lot of internships listed,
Sure.
Would you say
Good.
healthcare technical specialist intern or just
Sure.
intern, what is,
Yeah.
do you say who you're interning for to drop a position name in there, or what do you say?
My intuition is yes. I like where you're going is because you are still clarifying that they were the category that they're in, the department they're in.
Right.
But intern's a good title. at supervisory positions, you can throw in supervisor in there.
Okay.
Chris, what do you think?
No, that's good. And we actually have an example of exactly what she's asking in the slides coming up too. It's like, what if you're kind of just, you graduated and you're starting out and you're applying to a position that you may not have that title for necessarily, and there are ways to integrate that.
Yes.
But yeah, good. We'll get to that.
All right. So where do you look to find keywords? What I'm asking here is basically, how are you going to find out what the recruiter is looking for? How do you know, let me rephrase this. How do you know what the employer is looking for in a candidate? Someone shout out the answer. I'll give you a hint. You guys get this almost as frequently as you get the client's resume.
True.
You get this alongside
Job description.
Yes, there we go, Will.
Yes.
That posting.
Job posting.
So important.
It's the job posting, the job description online. It's the one that they sent you that they got. It's the one that's on Indeed.com that they got, Monster, you name it, the job posting. Number 2, you guys may hopefully have this tool on your belt. If it's not, this tool needs to be directly used every single time you have a client. And broadly speaking, it's called industry standard descriptions. It just means job postings that are online the client might not have actually sent you. So you had to go look for it yourself. An example we have, and again, if you guys don't know this website, it's called ONET Online. Write that down. So important. I'll give you the link here in a second, but it's onetonline.org. We'll talk about how to use that tool in a couple more slides. But first, a little case study. Let's see how we are on time. Doing good. So here's a little case study of a job posting we found for intellectual property law. This is a firm partner. So let's see. Maya, can you go ahead and read this description for us?
Sure. Prominent international law firm seeks a 2 to 7 year associate with an antitrust practice for the Washington, D.C. office. Experience with an antitrust discipline can be in any business or healthcare area.
All right, good. So let's kind of go around and pick out just 1 or 2 keywords that we think are important or big.
Antitrust.
Antitrust.
International.
Okay.
Antitrust.
Remember, we have position title was the highest rated.
Associate.
Good. Yeah. So let's go ahead and see the words. These are the words that Chris and I took out. So it can be up for interpretation. But yeah, we thought associate was number 1, position title. Antitrust,
yep.
Noun common position. Partner, again, another position title. In Washington, D.C. is the location and was, I think, 3rd on our list of most important words to look for.
I just want to ask a question. Just why do you guys think that location is half the time used as a keyword by these recruiters? Like, why do you think people look for that in resumes?
There's a couple of reasons. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Oh, I was just saying they're trying to discriminate. They don't want. Usually, they're adding in the location. They're more than likely to not looking for people outside that area.
Yes.
Yeah, there's that, especially because, the location thing, doing interviews, then also industries or area specific, especially in DC.
Oh, yeah. You'd be surprised by, I'm sure, how many people are applying from like out of town, a completely different area. And there is discrimination that goes on between the people want the geography. So people say like, oh, do I need to include the contact information at the top? You absolutely do, because your location's being used. And what do you do in a situation where you're vouching for a client who doesn't live in that area? Then there are certain things you can do. There's I'm sure, a debate on that. But
Yeah, that's always the most. I'm glad we were talking about this, and I don't want to like detract from like the presentation or whatever. But I think in the future we should just do one of our meetings just solely on that, because I feel like I encounter clients like that all the time, even myself, because I do want to eventually transition from the DC area to the West Coast, and I find that unless you move out there, like it's really hard to like really get yourself across, even if you're the most qualified person. Like some companies don't even want to pay, like think you're gonna have to pay relocation, so they're gonna completely ignore you. So
Cool.
In the future, I would definitely like to do something on that.
Just wrote that down. Change the locations talk. I think we need to have it too. We'll have it this year. Cool.
Okay. Next case. Let's see. Still can time. Chris, can you go ahead and read the description?
Industry leading construction, engineering, and design firm seeks qualified architects for Jacksonville, Florida-based positions. Qualified candidates, commercial, industrial, architectural experience, at least 5 years, requisite degree, certifications, licenses, and/or registrations that are applicable. Excellent career opportunity with a progressive industry leader, highly competitive salary, and an attractive benefits plan.
Okay. Now let's go through. What does a candidate need on the resume that's going to make them look like this perfect candidate for the architect? Let's shout some words out.
Commercial industrial architect.
Okay.
Jacksonville, Florida.
There we go. I was waiting for someone to say it.
Based off what we just said, the last slide. Jacksonville, Florida. Good. What else?
It was towards the bottom, but requisite degrees, certifications, licenses.
Yeah.
As long as those were word for word the right ones. So let's see. Where are we right? Construction, noun common to the position. Engineering, position title. Architect, position title. Commercial, industrial, nouns. Jacksonville, we have the location. This one was a little bit harder, but you guys are starting to get the drift, it looks like. So we're going to check out. Again, ONET Online is going to be your new source for finding job postings if the client doesn't give you one. So let's take an example. What is ONET Online? It's a government. It's actually a government project in which they have thousands and thousands of job descriptions online for common positions.
Yes.
They have everything from math teacher to we've talked about a lot, controller, financial analyst, all the way up to CEO. They have it back down to janitorial services. Anything you're looking for, you name it, they got it. Kind of having some trouble with my computer here. One second. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys see the Safari?
Yeah.
All right, good. Oh, it's my Wi-Fi. That's what it is. Give me a moment, if you don't mind.
Let's see if I can.
Yeah, Chris, if you want.
Let me see if I can beat you. Pull it up. Is it .com or .org?
.org.
.org. Okay. What was the position? High school mathematics teacher?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see, I'm going to do this share. Everyone see? Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Do you know which posting it was, Matthew? Was it math science teacher post-secondary? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's not too important which one it is, as long as.
Okay. Yeah. Mine's slow too. That's weird. Maybe it's running in Zoom at the same time.
Yeah, might be the same thing.
Yeah, but no, this is it. This is it. Yeah.
Okay. Chris, do you want to talk about it? Or do you want me to talk about it?
I'll just go really quickly. But basically, what this website will do, almost every single position you can imagine, you can search and it'll give associated job titles. It will give nouns common to the position. It will give even soft skills, degrees required. It's all in here. So you can see sample of reported job titles: assistant professor of mathematics, mathematics instructor. All these possible keyword buzzwords, I should say, that can be used. And you get into technology skills, which I think is personally, it's a noun common to the position. So you have things like Blackboard, Microsoft Access, Visual Basic, Google Docs, all things that assistant professor of mathematics would use. So I think it's incredibly important to consider these things when you're writing the resume. Nouns common to the position, knowledge, skills. So just to show you guys what a kind of a valuable resource this can be, especially if you're trying to kind of brainstorm what to go off of when you're trying to target your client's resume. So I'll leave it at that.
Okie doke.
Cool.
Going over transition back. 1 second. Sorry for the technical difficulties. This is. Okay, we're back. So just like Chris said, these are just some of the keywords that we can pull off that page. We wrote them down in PowerPoint. This is stuff you're going to want to take notes on before you have that initial consultation. So you're going to look at their knowledge, skills, abilities, all those categories that Chris was walking you guys through. You're going to write down the things you think are good keywords, which is for the most part, most of it. And you're going to go ahead and have that by your hand on a piece of paper before you have that conversation with the client. This is not a hard and fast rule. This is something I like to do. It really helps me drive the conversation. It really helps me to, hey, by the way, you didn't tell me, but I want to make sure that you do have, a PhD, for example, if they need it. I want to make sure, you have experience using Blackboard. Do you have any visual basic skills? It's stuff that helps, and they'll be like, oh yeah, of course. I used Blackboard my last job. Go and write that down, right?
Cool.
So how exactly in the world are you going to integrate the into your resume? We got to start going through this pretty fast because we don't have much time. These are all of the ways in which you can use them. We can kind of give you guys a good examples and we'll go through them at the end. But if your resume has a summary of qualifications, perfect place to inject those keywords. They're information security analyst with 10 plus years and certifications in X, Y, and Z. Boom. Accomplishments at the bottom, at the top, wherever, work experience, of course, skill section, contact information, again, location. Let's already mention that. You guys already kind of figured that out. File name. Now that's an interesting one. We'll talk about it at the very end, but that's an additional way in which you can get through that keywords firewall, we call it. Here's just kind of a rehash of what we already talked about. Remember that firm partner for intellectual property law. The job description on the left, we talked about the keywords we thought were important on the right. So, for example, this person is a seasoned attorney with 10 plus years of experience serving Washington, D.C. clients in the antitrust discipline. This is literally word for word using every keyword that we thought was important from the job posting in one sentence. Guess where you put it? At the very top of the resume. Perfect.
Yeah, and this is a leading sentence, by the way, guys. So this is just the first sentence in the summary of qualifications. So there'll probably be a couple of sentences that follow this. But like I said, Matt, this is a really good example that integrates keywords like right off the bat. So you have attorney, DC, and antitrust as Matt highlighted here.
Okay, accomplishment of work experience. Instead of saying it developed over 10 different software programs that reduce user time by at least 25%. That's an accomplishment. I think that's worded quite well. But let's incorporate keywords. Product development, developed over 10 different software programs, ... Product development is a noun common to the position. This is just a way of really just heightening, heightening your use of keywords. It was good before, and it was good after, but we're just trying to make this pass the test. File name. This is an interesting one. So your name is John Smith, and you're applying for a product development management program within a tech firm. Most people are just going to name it John_Smith_resume. I did that for every single job I've applied to.
Yeah, me too.
Are you guys familiar with doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Now, if there's one more tool you can put in your tool belt, this is not going to get the person the interview. This is not going to guarantee them the job. But if there's one little additional thing you can do just to make it that much more, possible, give them the opportunity a little leg up, it's trying to craft the keywords in every way possible, including Filename. So it becomes Smith, product development manager. Tip number 3, don't neglect social media. This is something that Sean will attest to, and we all learned from him actually back at the conference. But ATS Software is able to crawl through social media.
Yes. No one knows that, but it's true.
Yep. It's scary, but it's true. So let's beef up your LinkedIn's. Okay. Always be forward-looking. So this should honestly be self-explanatory at this point. You guys have been doing this for long enough. But make sure you are using keywords for the position you want to fill, not those of the position you had before. If you are, for example, if you're a lead supervisor at your McDonald's job and you're applying for a bank teller position, you want to hit all the buzzwords.
Who is that?
Okay.
It's Will's blowing his nose.
If you're a lead supervisor for your McDonald's job and you want to be a bank teller, you better believe that you're going to put in the keywords for the bank teller position into your McDonald's resume. There's ways you can do this. So that's the career transition example down here. But the student example is another great example of someone who needs to be forward-looking. Maya, you brought up earlier, what do you do for their position titles if they haven't, necessarily they've been having internships, stuff like that. One of the great ways you can do that actually is just to put the courses they took while they were in school on the resume.
Yeah.
Traditional advice tells us that, hey, just be conventional with your resume. Just put your work experiences, your education, and your skills. Don't put anything else. Of course, you need your contact information, but those are the big 3. No, not necessarily true. If they need that leg up, if they're a student who's graduating who doesn't necessarily have great work experience, look at their courses. Ask them. Okay, you're looking for a mechanical engineer position at a big construction firm. What courses did you take? Let's see if we can write that down, because those positions are going to pass the keywords test and, in fact, make you look like a better candidate. Any questions about that? Okay, moving on. Now, there is such a thing as taking this too far. Now that you have this newfound power of being able to confidently explain to our clients what keywords are, how are you going to use them, how are you going to make them look amazing and get them to pass the test, but you need to know that there is such a thing as taking this too far. Namely, there's a phrase here called keyword stuffing. Chris has a great example of it. He's actually told me before of someone who will literally in 0.5 font put at the very bottom of the resume in all white. So you can't read it because the background is white. And they'll write every single keyword they got from the job description, or just copy and paste the job description. I kid you not. Does
that work?
I bet it does, to be honest. I bet it but there are consequences for writing for the robot. This person that did it, they may have gotten past the first test. They may have got their foot in the door, but they're not going to get the interview if they're not a good qualified candidate. If they are, good for them, it worked. But we need to think about other things besides just writing for the robot, these keywords that'll help them pass the first test. We need to look into, does it make them actually look like a good candidate?
Right.
If they get the interview, are they going to realize that they lied the entire time, that they actually have none of this experiences? You know, then not only are you wasting your time, but you're wasting the employer's time. Okay, that concludes my presentation with 5 minutes to spare. Any questions?
I thought this was a really, really well done presentation. It was really clear for me, even though I've seen the presentation before, but I think the way you laid it out was really efficient, and it was awesome.
Good, thank you.
Pretty good.
All right. Well, I encourage you, if you do have questions about this, let it mull in your head. I'm going to put this video on YouTube. We have 5 minutes, so we're going to wrap up with some updates and some hear back from you. But email me, watch the video again. Let me know if you have any further of the conversation. That's really what it's about.
For the next conference, we're going to do a brief quiz at the very beginning. We're going to do send out the polls here. So make sure if you're watching the video right now, that you're obviously watching the video. It's dumb. But yeah, that's why it's important to watch these videos if you do miss the meeting, because it's super important stuff. We'll pull you. And whoever wins, we may have to come up with a prize or something like that if you absolutely nail it or get the answers first. But definitely important to.
Well, that'll be fun. We should do that.
Yeah. I think we're going to. I'll be creative. If you have any prize ideas, please send it to me via GroupMe. But yeah, it's good.
Okay, everyone. We like to finish off this conversation with let's hear from you. I've talked enough. Chris has talked enough. You guys have anything you want to bring up? If we have time, I'll go ahead and let Sean talk about those things that we talked about in the last meeting. But Maya and Will, do you guys have anything you want to bring up? Any projects that are going well, not going well?
I was actually talking to Sean about this not too long ago. The last package I did, I ran into some confusion because you remember how I had to write a personal statement for this guy, but he was not giving me any details about his life or why he does what he does or why what he does is important. And I was trying to impress upon him that, there's going to be people who write these personal statements that have really heartfelt stories, but he just had a really hard time giving me a lot of detail, but it was very particular at the same time. So do you all know what I should do in that situation? Or?
Yes. We actually talked about it right before this. We all had a chat in the managers meeting.
Okay.
There's something we're going to do. Number one, we understand that you guys aren't necessarily trained to do personal statements. That's going to put a lot of burden on you. And so the best we can do right now is to make sure that they provide, if they want you to write personal statements, stuff like that, they're going to have to provide you with a draft themselves. And what you'll do is you'll provide a service more like rewriting it rather than you coming up from scratch. And that's about, until we can actually train you on what to do in those circumstances, that's probably the best we can offer. It'll be a rewrite service.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And we're not going to, managers are talking, we're not going to market or sell something if it's not something that you guys aren't comfortable or experienced doing. If there is something, then we'll approach you individually. And if that happens, then it'll be more of a rewrite. So it'll be less pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Very good.
All right, hey guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna be late to the next meeting. My consult got moved up to noon, and I forgot we had a second meeting after this.
Gotcha. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so you have a phone consult right now?
Yeah, right now.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Go get them. Enjoy the consult.
All right, sorry guys.
Okay.
Cool.
Bye, Will.
That's good. Well, getting right to work. Wow. There's that in action, so you guys can see what that looks like.
I thought he was gonna stay on the whole time.
We're watching him for the next 30 minutes.
Very nice. Okay. Well, if you guys don't mind spending maybe 5 more minutes, that'd be all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about. So this is for Maya. Were you the one that used the watermark originally? Do you know about watermarks?
Yes. Oh, wait.
Cool.
Yes.
All right, then we don't need to talk to her about that.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Well, I
well,
guess
That's
should you
correct,
guys
right?
say for the recording?
Yes. Go
yeah,
ahead.
for the recording, so everyone needs to know this
Yeah.
about watermarking. Yeah.
Okay, so watermarking is pretty easy to do. I'm not actually going to show it up on my screen because we sort of already talked about it. But basically, in order to put a watermark into your Word document, you go to the design function on the design tab in the Word document itself. You'll see to the far right, you'll see an option that says watermark. If you click on that option, you can either insert a pre-selected watermark into the document, or if you go and scroll down, there's actually if you click on it, they'll also give you an option to customize your own watermark. And when you go and pull up the customized watermark, go to the text. There's a section that says text watermark, and it'll allow you to edit that watermark so you can do anything you want. Normally what I'll do for my own packages, I'll just type in sample for that, and so it'll come up as a watermark that says sample. You also have the option of changing the color of the watermark as well. You can also do seals and other things using the watermark function as well. But it's a good function to utilize in order to make sure that our clients, even though we want to expect the best out of our clients, we also don't want our clients to take advantage of us as well. So by inserting the watermark, that kind of prevents them from being able to convert the PDF that you sent out into a Word document that's readable.
Yep. And that's when you're sending the first draft, right?
And that's when
First
you're,
draft.
only add the watermark when you're sending the first draft. After that, once you get the approval, you can, give them the regular PDF version.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. Would it be too much if you just share your screen real quick and just show where specifically? I think it takes 2 seconds to
Okay.
to look over that.
Sure.
I know each version of Word is different, but it'll help some people, I think.
All right, so you can see my screen right now with the cover letter.
Yes.
So if you go to design, there's a design tab up here. You click on the design. Watermark is on the far right. There's an option right there. There's an arrow pointing down. You just right click. It'll give you all these different options that says confidential, disclaimer, draft, sample, whatever. You can go down here. It says custom watermark. You can click on that. And then you can either put in a picture watermark, which you can create your own crest or whatever you want to put in and put in an insert of a picture, or you can click here that says text watermark. You can go to text, type in sample. You can even change the color down here. I'll just choose some random color and then click OK. Oh, you can also, going back to the options as well. If you go to custom watermark, you can also change the layout format. So you can change it from diagonal or horizontal, whatever directional way that you want to have the watermark to look like. So there you go. That's how you do it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Last thing, this is for you, Maya, and for everyone else that's watching this. We were talking about diversifying our templates. You guys know where to find that. Will should know how to find that now. I walked him through the other day. We went ahead and added Sean's template, which it's going to say Sean's template. He really wants to stress that he's been having a lot of good success in the past with using this. And so take a look. It's just a sample of what he's done before. And I think it might help guide you with the design. And any notes you want to say about that, Sean?
No, basically it's just sort of like, I know you guys have your own, design templates that you utilize, but I know sometimes we interact with clients who you sort of look at their resume, you see that the writing is like pretty up to par. You really don't want to change it, but you also want to give them kind of like a new, different product. So I would utilize that. sort of sample just to give them something a little finesse, you know, like give them something that they feel like they're getting something different that they couldn't do it themselves. So that's why, you know, I kind of added that template so that, you know, I always get a good reaction from it. And a lot of times, you know, people will say, wow, that's something that's very impressive. So I want to extend that to other people so that they can utilize that as well for their own packages.
Cool. And that's in the Google Drive.
Yeah, and that's in the Google Drive. Yeah, in
Awesome.
the resume photo, sample folder.
Very good.
And this, sorry, it's in the resume folder, and it's in the sub folder that says design.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. That's all that I have for everyone. Is that any questions for you, Maya?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to everyone who came out. Sorry we dropped a few as the time went on, but it happens. Everyone, enjoy your weekends, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, you too. Enjoy your weekend.
All right. See ya. Cool.
Matt, I just have a quick question.
Yes.
Where should we do the next meeting? On which site?
Do you want to reconvene in can you do 15 minutes? Wait for Will?
Yep, but on Google Hangout or Zoom.
Let's stick on here just for simplicity. I'll stop recording.
Yeah.
Okay.